bit of a chaotic week again, sorting stuff out for my dad. You wouldn't believe the stuff that's going on. So I really need to put some makeup on today. And I suddenly thought, what look do I want to put on today? I haven't even had chance to get any of the new stuff to show you guys. But you know how you wake up and you think, I'm in a mood for a certain look. And I'm definitely in the mood for a certain look today. So what I really want to go for, because I have been tired, I've been run down. Hello, Stacey. How are you? I've been tired, I've been run down, I've been stressed. There's an awful lot going on in my life at the moment, which is not giving me any creative space whatsoever. And I suddenly thought, I know the look that I need to achieve. It's simple, but it's flawless. And it will give me that perk of great. Hello, Shahina. It'll give me that perk of great. Now, I haven't got lots of new products, and I know people get excited by the new products, just haven't got round to purchasing them yet, which I will do. I'm definitely going to do today because I need to make time for myself. You're not good at the moment. Oh, Stacey, I'm so sorry. I've not been good either. Maybe we can lean on one another. I think this look is a real, you know, when you feeling like you need your face makeup on to motivate you. So instead of focusing on all the new items that are out there, which a lot of channels are doing, I'm going to focus on a look that Charlotte Tilbury brought about, but I'm not going to just use Charlotte Tilbury makeup items, okay? But it's the Bombshell. I'm going to do a little variation on the theme of the Bombshell, which is basically what we're aiming for. You were in a car accident. Oh, Stacey, you're not having great luck at all, are you, at the moment? I'm so sorry. And you've got whiplash. That's the last thing you needed right now. Hello, Terry. So instead of focusing on these new items, which are coming, and I will do some new items for you. I know, especially at this time of the year, people get excited by new items. I'm going to fall back on an old staple. And for those of you that perhaps going through financial problems that can't afford to get lots of new items at the moment. I mean, to be honest, I'm trying to be good. I can afford to get new items, but I'm trying to be prudent. But I'm definitely going to get those eyeshadows. But this one will be good. You went for your surgery on Monday. They cancelled it because of your whiplash. Oh, that's awful. That's really frustrating. Well, you need to get yourself well and in a good state of mind. And I'm talking to you like do as I say and not as I do, because I've not been in a great state of mind myself. Hello, Terry and Shahina. Right, now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a variation on the Bombshell. And the reason I want to do the Bombshell, this is a great look if you are perhaps feeling a bit and you want to motivate yourself by feeling like you're flawless. So let's sort of revisit a look that is right back to one of the original looks. It's simple, but it's also flawless. So it's not just putting a little bit of makeup on and feeling like you need more. It's actually flawless, but it's also simple and it's really effective. Now, I'm not going to put on Charlotte's foundation today. I'm going to use my precious La Prairie, and I'm going to use the liquid one today. You may remember that I purchased a whole new set of La Prairie products last year, and I definitely am in the mood for luxury and pampering. I need that pampering, and I don't feel guilty about it because I have spent a large part of the week doing stuff for other people. And it is now me time. Right, I'm plastering on rather a lot because I want good coverage. And I'm going to get my flat foundation brush, which is Charlotte Tilbury's flat foundation brush, so that I can kind of paint it. Because I find that this foundation is actually really good if you paint it. It's such a good shade on me. It's one of my better matches. Nina's working online and she sends her love. Hello, Nina, if you're watching on playback. And hello to anyone that's watching but doesn't want to comment. I don't forget you. We don't forget you. Those of us that do comment, so hello to you. So this is my La Prairie caviar foundation, which is very expensive, but if you can run to it, having said about cost of living, but it is cost of living because I'm using what I've got. I'm making sure I use it before it goes off. So you don't need to go out and buy this. There are other good foundations. I think the thing about this foundation for me is not necessarily the fact that it's an expensive foundation, although it is very good, but it's also that it's a really good match. There's only a couple of foundations that I've found that I would say are really good. This is one of them, and the other one was by Terry. And they just always really match my skin tone well. They're not too yellow. They're not too cool. They are at the right spectrum for me between neutral and warm. Thank you, Terry. Yes, it does, doesn't it? And I always feel good when I'm in it. I don't feel like I'm caked with makeup, but it's got good coverage. So that is, don't look at my chin because I haven't had a chance to pluck my chin hairs. Right, so, and then I'm going to put on, this has actually got concealer in the top. So I'm just going to dab this on with my fingers. Oh, and we've got a Rebecca joining us. Is that... Hello, Rebecca. Thank you. Sending light and love to all feeling unwell. I'm just feeling very stressed at the moment. We've had a lot to deal with sorting out my dad's affairs. My dad is still with us, but there's a lot going on in the background that I just don't want to go into now, just because it stresses me to talk about. But it's literally, we've had days, my sister and I, where all we've done all day long is sort out my dad's affairs, and one of them was yesterday. I had that appointment, as you know, that was booked at the last minute. And then I had to just get on and sort out some stuff of my dad's. And I literally had no get up until about 7 o'clock at night. And I said to my sister, I worked less hard when I was working, and I worked hard when I was working. Right, I'm just going to put this in some of the usual places. As you can see, it just gives you a great canvas. But one of the reasons is it's a good match. So what I'm saying, the takeaway from this isn't that you need to go and buy La Prairie. It's actually, you need to find a foundation that is a really good match for your skin. And sometimes you can try out a million foundations, but you know that one that's just got the edge over the others. And it gives you good coverage because it's a good match, rather than it's super duper coverage and really thick. It gives you good coverage because it matches your skin so well. And then I'm going to use Charlotte's airbrush, her original one, and I'm going to use medium on my face, and I'm going to use the new white one to do under my eyes to give me a bit of brightening. And that's what I tend to do now when I'm putting my makeup on, is I tend to use the usual airbrush, either number 1 or number 2. I don't need to use number 1 for this foundation because it hasn't got too much yellow in it. So that's why I'm using medium. So the medium one is giving me a bit of warmth. But if I had a foundation that had too much yellow in it, looked a bit yellow when I applied it to the skin, then I would use shade 1 of the airbrush, because shade 1 is, it's not just for lighter skins and shade 2 is for medium. Think shade 1 has got more pink in it, so it will tone down any yellow in your foundation. Shade 2 has got more yellow in it, so it will warm up a foundation if it's looking slightly pale. That's how I would define those 2 shades. Okay, these are all kind of makeup artistry little tips about, don't necessarily go for shade all the time, go for undertones. That's what I'm focusing on now with this one, the brightening powder. If I put this all over my face, it just makes me look a bit ghost-like, because it does have a white cast to it, a slight white cast. But if I put this under my eyes and on my cheekbones, it will give me a beautiful natural highlight. And I can put it anywhere that I would put highlighter, but I don't like to put this on my entire face because it just washes me out, and again just looks, again I can put a little bit down there where I would put a bit of lighter concealer, and I can put some on my eyelids just to brighten my eyes. So that's how I use the 2 different airbrushes and which shade I go for. So that's what we're getting into today. Now, with the Bombshell look, if you remember, the only thing is I could not find, when I was getting ready for this, could not find my sharpener. It's okay just to use it without my sharpener, but I would have preferred to sharpen it first. Thank you, worth the money, as it looks so great on me. But as I said, it's not necessarily that you need to go and buy La Prairie. It is about the shade. Now, one of the staple products of Charlotte Tilbury's Bombshell look was the Amber Haze colour Chameleon. These are, I cannot overemphasize how brilliant these are as a quick, perky, perk up. Now, you know I often use these as a good base. They're brilliant as a base. But they're also brilliant to use on their own. Perhaps when you're just feeling a bit hassled and you just don't want to be bothered with putting on an eyeshadow. It would have been better if I could have found my sharpener. It would have applied a lot better. But you get the idea. You just scribble it on. They're easy to scribble on. And it just gives you a really simple but polished eye look. And then you can use this. Now, you should never put colour chameleons or any type of eyeshadow pencil in your waterline. It says quite clearly, but you can use them to line. And what Charlotte often does is she puts an extra thick layer around the eye line. That's a Charlotte trick. Not necessarily as eyeliner, although you can, but it just makes sure that you've got a bit more definition around the eyes. Now, as you can see, that's already given my eyes definition. I'm coming back to your comments. Hello, Maria. Hello, Rebecca, too. We're going to call you Posh because the other Rebecca's here as well. So, for those of you just joining, today I've had a very stressful week, a lot going on, and feeling like I don't even have the energy to make myself look good. And I haven't even had time to order the new Charlotte Tilbury products. Can you believe it, right? So today what called to me was the Bombshell look from Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm doing a variation. You're the same, are you, Maria? This is a great look if you're feeling like me, okay? Because it's simple, but it's polished. So I'm just repeating myself from earlier. So with the Bombshell look, you want a good foundation. You want reasonably good coverage. Now, I reached for the La Prairie. I'm just recapping. You don't need to buy La Prairie. The reason that I like this is, yes, it's luxury, so it makes me feel pampered. But the other reason that I like this foundation so much is because it's such a good match on my skin. So you can actually translate this to probably a very cheap foundation. It doesn't necessarily have to be an expensive one, but if you pick out one of your foundations that you know is the best match on you, you won't need to use as much of it. And then I talked about the powders, which you'll see. So Stacey's just saying they can't reschedule it at the moment until her whiplash is recovered. But if you choose a really good foundation, it's going to give you good coverage, flawless coverage, and immediately that's going to make you feel better. It's made me feel better immediately. It's made me feel less tired and a little bit more motivated. And then I talked about the powders and why I would reach for, I've got 3 of these powders from Charlotte Tilbury. I've got 2 and I've got 1 and I've got this one, and why I would reach for each of those. So when you're looking back, that is what I would say. Now, the other thing that I love applying when I am feeling a little bit ugh is bronzer. So I'm going to use my cream bronzer. Again, I like the flawless one as well, but I just reach for this because it's newer. And I'm going to put it on with the brush. Again, and I'm putting it on in tan. I always find that the tan, I prefer it. I can use medium, but it's very subtle on me. And I want to give myself a bit of colour in my cheeks. And then I'll use the remnants to just give me that sun-kissed look on my head and down here. And immediately I'm starting to feel better. Now I'm going to give myself a bit more definition on my eyes. And I'm going to use the Victoria Beckham black eyeliner. Something's just happened with the Prime Minister. Can somebody tell me? Has she gone? Something just popped up on my screen. Oh, she's resigned. Liz Truss has resigned. I'll have to tune into Sky afterwards. So I'm just putting this black eyeliner by Victoria Beckham, because it's very soft and it applies very easily. The only thing is, yes, wow, I'm a little bit relieved, although it doesn't really help the chaos that we're in right now. I think we need a general election. I never get into talking about politics because people have varying views on what party they go for, and it's always a bit contentious. But right now, I do talk about politics because in years gone by, whether a government's been in power that I've agreed with or disagreed with, I've always felt that the country's being run. It may not be the way that I want it to be run, but it's being run by reasonably competent people. But recently, and even before Liz Truss, I haven't felt that. I've felt actually quite scared. And I think even people that, that actually agree with the party principles, that are conservative, I think I've probably given the game away that I'm not conservative. But even if you are, I think even conservatives right now are not happy. And if I've upset you by talking that way, I'm sorry. I don't normally get into politics, but I have been very worried that we are literally being run by people that don't know what they're doing. And that is very scary. So I'm now going to put a little bit. Now, while I was talking about that, what I'm doing here is I'm putting a bit of black because I want definition. I want a really smart, defined, polished look to give me a bit of motivation, basically. But the thing with the Victoria Beckham eyeliner is that it is very soft, which makes it really easy to put on, but you can see it can start to migrate because it's too soft in terms of staying put. So it's really important that you smudge it out, because if you don't, it's going to start migrating. So she's going to resign after 45 days in office. Is that a record? Has she broken a world record? I'll tell you what I think is a general problem, without getting too much into politics per se, that I try and veer against. But I think it has been a problem with Liz Truss, and I think it's a problem that we have in society, and it's a problem that I have seen in my working life. Hello, Nuala357. Hello and welcome. I'm now putting on some Charlotte Tilbury Brow Cheat. Again, that's going to give me definition, and it's going to make me feel smart and polished, which is what you want. But it's not, all of these things are little tweakments that are not necessarily going to take you an awful lot of time, but it's going to transform you quickly. And I'm already feeling energized by actually just feeling smarter. Now, one of the basic things that I think, my observations from when I was working, and I've been medically retired now, so I don't care. I'm not going to talk about individual names or anything. But there is a large percentage of people now in all areas of life, whether it be politics, whether it be the NHS. Thank you, Terry. Terry loves the natural eye look on me because I'm going to go for a nice bold lip. So one of the things I think is that there is a group of people that I met a lot of them in my working life, that they're not really interested in the job that they're doing. Like their motivation is about climbing to the top. That's their motivation. And the problem with that, and I saw it so much where I worked. Thank you, Rebecca. It's cute with that jumper. And the problem with that is that these people will change their opinion from day in to day out because they're very good at fitting in with what the popular view is to get them to the top. So they're very good at getting up to high office or to a high position because they will basically go with the flow and they won't upset anyone. And they're not, they don't have the kind of moral, this is wrong, whatever. They will just go with, yes, chameleons. Thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca can say it in one word where I use about 20. They're chameleons, and they're very good at getting high up. And one of their really good skills, and I saw this a lot when I worked, is if something goes wrong, they put everybody around them on performance. Or, you know, where we worked, it was you put them on performance and start trying to get them out, or you sack them if you're in another industry. They're very good at doing that because then it deflects away from their mistakes. It's like sack the people around you that might. And if something goes right, they don't credit that person. They stand up and say, it's because of me. It's because of me. And I saw it so much. The problem is that when they get to a certain level in power, they've got to that point, but they don't actually have the skills needed to do the job. And I saw that in Liz Truss. And at that point, she's got the scrutiny of the entire country, and it doesn't work anymore, I'm afraid. So she will do very well. She will do very well in any industry that she gets a job in. Sounds like Meghan Markle. Possibly, yeah. I don't know enough about Meghan Markle, although obviously what's happened in the royal family is tricky, but that's a bit controversial. There's a lot of pro-Meghan still, and there's a lot of, I mean, I just think it's a shame because there was a real opportunity for Meghan to actually, you know, Harry was very popular as a royal in this country. He was. And Meghan, I think a lot of the people were very happy that she was getting married to Harry and going and doing all the interviews, though. British public, a lot of us do not forgive. If you're into the royal family, that was the step too far. Now, the thing with the bombshell look, the big thing with the bombshell look, and I really do need to get a lip liner, is the red lip. And I am going to use, yeah, you feel bad for Harry. I think a lot of people do. I am going to use Cherry Dream. It's one of my favourite red lips. I know I like Daniel Sandler, but I do love this one. And this is Charlotte Tilbury's Limitless Lucky Lips. It's got a lovely feel. It lasts a long time, but it looks good as well. And I'm not a fan of matte lips. And yet this doesn't feel like a matte for me. It feels quite creamy. and it lasts long. It's kind of a really good, it's a really good compromise, because shiny lipsticks are lovely, but they don't last long. And matte lipsticks last longer, but they don't look as good if you've got dry lips. This to me is a perfect compromise. Hello from Finland. Finally, I can say that in live. I like to watch your videos. Thank you, Vikarja. And I'm sorry that I haven't put out many midweek videos recently. So that's really given me some energy. Thank you, Vikarja. It's lovely for you to join me. Thank you. Say hello to Vikarja, everyone. Am I pronouncing that right? Virkaja. Virkaja? I think that's how you pronounce it. And Nuala, I haven't seen Nuala join recently, so you're newbies. So say hello to the newbies. And we have someone from Finland. I'm just going to find myself a red lip liner because I want nice defined lips. Just bear with me and you'll see again that Mick has piled up a load of laundry in the background. Okay, I'm getting lots of texts now from family members saying she's gone. She's gone. Yes, Liz Truss has gone. Breaking news, everyone. Now, I'm just looking for my red. I want a red lip liner. And I have a Victoria Beckham one here somewhere, which is the one that I'm looking for. Let me see. Where are you? Victoria Beckham. Victoria Beckham, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, I can't find you. I'll have to find my Charlotte one. I fancied using my Victoria Beckham one. No. Yes, no. That might have to do if I can't find my red one. Bear with me. Not that one. 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 Okay, I'm going to use Walk of Shame. It's not red. It's more of a rusty red, but it will do. Because I'm just going to use it to line my lips. I'm in North... Oh, right, you're all talking about where you're from. Oh, we're talking about Larry the cat. Yes, Larry the cat should be made Prime Minister. So I wonder who's now going to... What's going to happen? Who's going to be Prime Minister? I think the problem is we haven't got many people to choose from. I like the Pillow Talk line, except the eyeshadow makes me look sickly. Nuala, which eyeshadow do you mean? Because she's got quite a few Pillow Talk ones. Do you mean all of them? I think Rebecca, to be quite honest, so Rebecca said, what does happen now, Ali? Now, I think normally there would be a leadership contest. Right, the Pillow Talk quad. There is a 12 pan palette of Pillow Talk, which has got some deeper shades in it. And also, she's just brought out the face palettes, which you can put on your eyes. She's also got a colour chameleon. But if you actually, there's two face palettes that have just come out, which I've put away. but one of them is slightly darker than the other one, and you could use those on your eyes. So it sounds to me like what you're saying is they're a little bit too light for you, making you look sickly. But do have a look at the Pillow Talk range, and just because something says it's for the cheeks doesn't mean you have to just put it on your cheeks and not on your eyes. But I would definitely, can people tell me, can you still get the 12 pan palette of the Pillow Talk? Because you've got some lovely deeper shades in there. And actually, the advantage of that is that it will go with all your other Pillow Talk items. So I've just put Walk of Shame on because I couldn't find my red lip liner. But it doesn't matter because I just want to make sure that my lips are well lined up. When you're using a red lipstick, and you've got this sort of a reasonable coverage foundation on, you need really to have quite defined lips. Otherwise it kind of just looks a bit sloppy. Yes, you can buy the 12. Have a look at the 12 pan because that might be better for you. Just look at the colours, that some of them at the end, and you can mix and match a little bit more. So although you've still got some of those lighter colours in the left part of the palette, that's why I'm doing that. You went through a Charlotte crazy phase a few years back. Well, I've gone through it for the last 5 years, so don't worry about that. But have a look at the 12 pan. Maybe you can ask for it for Christmas. Now, I'm going to put on this Cherry Dreams, which I love. Now, in the original Bombshell look, she uses lip gloss over the top of, and the original Bombshell look, the lipstick was Love Bite. Yes. And then she put the red gloss over the top. But I love this because it's just so long lasting. Now, the thing is with the Bombshell look, now what was in the original Bombshell look? I'm trying to think of the cheek to cheek blush that came with the Bombshell look. I think it was probably Sex on Fire. You don't really need a blush because you've got the bronzer going on. Actually, what you are better doing with the Bombshell look, if you want a bit of blush, I would just do this because that always ties together your lipstick with your cheeks. Just a tiny smidgen of your red lipstick and it will always tie it together. But where is the best place to buy makeup in Finland? Do you order from Cult Beauty or who ships to Finland? Great question there. Vikaja is my nickname. Lena is my real name. My hometown is Rama. I love CT but can't order it anymore because of EU. Oh. Charlotte Tilbury, if you're watching, or any Charlotte Tilbury makeup artists who sometimes do watch me, what are you doing about Finland, guys? Right. The better thing to do, now you see, I don't like that now. I'm going to take that away. I don't think this look needs a blush. And I don't like it. So, I'm just going to put a bit of this white powder to tone it down. I think it detracts from the eyes and the lips. Which is why I didn't get out a blush for this look. I think what is better is either bronzer or to use, that's my old one, you see, the contour wand. Which has gone a bit watery. this one actually is the light one. What's happened there? It's gone all watery on me. Let me give it a good shake. Needs a good shake. And then come on. This one's gone funny on me because I haven't used it for a while. That's better. I'm just using my hand at the moment as a... That's better. With the Bombshell, you're better going for definition. So using the contour wand, and you can do a little bit around the nose. And I think that's better than concentrating on blush. Okay. Now I tend to put concentrate mine more around here because I've got quite a wide forehead. If you look at my face shape, it sort of is wide there and then it goes in. So in order to compensate for the shape of my head, I like to actually make this look slimmer, right? But that's because of my face shape. A lot of people do it up there, which makes their head look shorter. And I did do that just out of habit. But actually, I far prefer, in my face shape, it's about adjusting it for your face shape. I prefer to put mine around the edge to kind of make this look slimmer because it otherwise, can you see what I mean? It goes wide and then my face goes in to make it look less angular and a little bit more in line with my cheek shape. I like to put my contour round the side. Can you see how that kind of slims out that area a bit more and it comes a bit more in line with the rest of my face? I will say that one of the things that I love about aging, because we're always going on about things that we want to hide and things that have got worse by aging, and I'm going to put the question to you guys in a minute. One of the things that I love is I never had cheekbones until I got into my sort of late 40s. Even if you look back, go and have a look at some of my early videos that I did on YouTube. And my face is a lot more round than it is now. And I always wanted cheekbones. And I've developed them in later years. And I actually got a face shape now that I prefer now that I'm older. So I want to know from you guys, I would like to know what, because we're always talking about things that we don't like since we've aged. What has happened to you in terms of your looks? Because and I don't want to hear nothing. Have a think. What has happened to you that you actually prefer now that you're older in terms of your look? If you were to look back at a younger photograph of yourself, what do you think looks better on you now that you've aged? Let's celebrate our age. I have better skin as I age. I take care of it better and no hormonal acne. Great, Rebecca. I don't break near as much. You mean break out in spots? Great. And Vikaja, do not apologise for your English, because I tell you what, you're doing a lot better than I would do commenting on a YouTube video in another country. A lot better. You don't break out like you did when you were younger. There you go. See, we can celebrate our age. And please, please do go back and have a look at some of my earlier videos where I was. So the first video I did would have been in 1990, not 1997. I wish I'd have been a big YouTube star by now. Sorry, someone's trying to call me. I'm going to call her back in a minute. Yeah, go and have a look at the one I did in 2017, and needs to contact me urgently about my dad. All right. So but yeah, go and have a look back at that video. And I'm gonna have to go again. My dad is taking over everything, so I'm gonna have to go because it's an urgent call about my dad. But do you know what? I feel so much more refreshed now, and I'm gonna put the details of the makeup that I used, and they are trying to call me. Yep. So listen, guys, thank you so much. I feel better now. I hope I look better. Please go and have a look back at that first video, and don't forget to like the live. And you've been fortunate enough to not have hormonal breakouts after going through menopause. Great. Let's keep the comments positive about our aging experience, because so many times we focus on wrinkles and things that have got worse, but there are things that have got better with age. Okay, take care. Thank you so much for watching me, and I'm sorry I've got to go so abruptly. Take care. Bye-bye.